Hello, my name is Ashley Lemaster, and I'm the principal at Porter Elementary. After watching Module 2, I have found that administrators play a really important role in guiding teachers on best practices of teaching a blended learning lesson. In the video, I really liked how the principal talked about how the teachers start out every lesson the same way, whether they're in person or at home. They always start with identifying the success criteria, discussing the learning targets, and going over the work time expectations. I think that's important because students need consistency. So if you're doing that every day at school, if they for some reason have to learn from home, they're going to get that same format and it's going to feel familiar to them and it's going to keep the learning consistent. I also liked how she talked about practices for keeping the staff connected to the framework. And she used blended learning to do that. So she modeled what she expected from her staff. And she had breakout sessions with doors for each of the domains. So teachers, if they felt like they were struggling in any part of the domains, they could go into that specific room and they could continue their learning. And it could be self-paced, or they could ask the questions to a group and continue their learning that way. So whether they were in person at school or they're at home, they're able to continue their learning. And I think that that's so very powerful. I also liked how they talked about the PLCs. And I feel like that's something that we are doing this year in our district with our DLCs guiding those PLCs. You know, we always talk about how we want students to be clear in their learning, but as administrators, it's our responsibility to make sure that teachers are clear in what they're teaching. And by having the PLCs and the regular PLCs and going over those key things that are important and best practices, we can keep teachers on top of the game and more clear in their learning and connected to that framework better through examples like what we just talked about that the principal did in the video. So overall, I think that this coaching module is a great resource. They gave us a lot of good ideas, and I think that blended learning can really take our students to the next level because we're going to be able to give them and provide them the same good instruction and best practices whether they're in school or at home.